Hey everybody, welcome to the Marquee Matchup. I'm Tony George. He's Scott Spreitzer. Get over to DocSports.com. Check us out this Saturday. Click the link in the description below. Get a free $60 from us. We'll back those plays you use that $60 for with our pure profit guarantee. Scott off a huge Saturday last week. I dumped, so nonetheless, catch him while he's hot. Catch me on the rebound. Get over. We got 10 other guys over there. Free $60. Click the link below. We're talking about the world's largest cocktail party, Georgia taking on Florida. SEC East eliminator game, for lack of a better term. Lots at stake here. Georgia has owned this series, sure. Scott. I got a few things here that I wanted to talk about, and I'll kick it off to you. Number one is Florida catching 6, total 47 right now. This line's going to move during the week. We're taping these early in the week here. But I'll tell you the one thing that stands out in this game more than anything else for me is the defense of Florida. I think they are one of the best in the country. 15.8 points per game. They're third in the country. They've got 12 picks. Mm-hmm. And that concerns me a little bit because Georgia lacks the big strike, big play capability they've had in the past. 30 touchdown passes last year for Fromm, only 9 this year, Scott. Yep. Georgia's shown some weaknesses. Will Muschamp figured out a way at South Carolina to dial up something to really shut them down, albeit the weather was deplorable in that game.
And Georgia just kept shooting themselves in the foot.
They shot themselves in the foot a lot, but at the end of the day here, Mullen in an underdog role here. Florida looks awfully tasty for me at +6. I don't know what you think.
Well, it's been an ugly series of late. I mean, the last 4 or 5 games have been decided by, I think the closest margin of victory was 14. There's also a 35-point win in there for the Bulldogs. And you got a situation where Tony mentioned that Florida defense. How about Georgia's too? Georgia's given up 10 points per game in the SEC. They're giving up just over 7 points per game on the season overall. You also hit it on the head, though, when you said that the Georgia Bulldogs passing game is lacking. And that's what kind of worries me here. 5.5 to 6 point spread in this one. Florida's not stopping the run really well of late when teams need to run the football. And if Georgia's able to establish that ground game, maybe they can throw some short stuff to get the passing game in gear and eventually take some play action deep shots. So that's what it's really coming down to in this game. I think this is a pretty tough game to handicap right now early in the week, but I do think it's going to come down to whether or not Georgia can get that play action going a little bit, maybe pass the football, but base it off the running game. If Florida is able to come up, not worry a whole lot about the pass, and decide to slam the door in the running game, could be a long afternoon for the Georgia offense. I think it's a good defensive football game. You know what scares me about playing unders in games like this when it looks like an under?
Yeah.
You get a play here or two out of great talent on the field where those players bust along one or two, and all of a sudden you go through about 8 minutes of game time where both teams are just firing the football all over the place. You get punt returns, kickoff returns. You get defenses that turn long field situations into short field situations due to turnovers. So many good athletes on the field that it scares you off that under a little bit.
Well, and the one thing too here is you got Pitts, Swain, Jefferson, tight end, wide receivers for Florida. That they can, and Trask is playing better.
Sure.
So at the end of the day here, what I look at when I'm looking from the point spread perspective is, if you're catching 6, Florida has the offense that can play catch up if they're down better than Georgia can, because Georgia has struggled in the past.
Sure.
They just want to pound the rock. If they got to force Fromm to throw the ball to keep him in the game, that's going to be a problem. Or get him back in the game, that could be a problem against that Florida defense. That's why I kind of lean with the Gators here, Scott.
Sounds good, man. He's got a lead on the Gators. I'm going to pass for now. I'm going to wait till we get a little bit closer to the weekend. He's Tony George. I'm Scott Spreitzer. Check out 10 and 10 this week, 10 football games. Check out the NFL Sunday marquee matchup. And what a marquee matchup it is. Patriots at Ravens.